tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Just the two of us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Monday Night Raw after show right here from the brand new AFTERBUZZ Studios in Hollywood, California. I'm Cathy Kelley. Joining me for this recap, the Hobo.
This feels like a really chill Wednesday afternoon Raw.
Yeah, and we apologize to you guys. It did take a couple days for us to get the new studios up and running, so we're finally getting to do Raw. I'm excited.
We gotta do a Periscope, like walking through and showing everybody the new studio.
I really wish you guys could see it. It's tricked out.
I mean,
It's like we went up to the main roster of tapings.
It is. It hurts a little bit, you know? You missed the homey feel that was the old studio.
I know, but it's big time now.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. More shows. It's going to be awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in at home. Again, apologies for being a couple days late, but we finally got to get in the studio and do the Raw recap. We will be back to Monday nights, so you guys can always watch us right after Raw goes off air. Ty, we are not really sure the status of him. Haven't really heard from him at all.
No, he's been radio silent.
Yeah.
Fear for his condition.
Well,
he was so brutally slain by you.
That's what happens when you don't laugh at my puns. Take note.
Everyone laugh. Everyone laugh at home right now.
And Johnny is out of town for work, so he will be back hopefully on Monday.
Work,
and
I thought it was the poison and the cupcakes.
That's purely speculation.
Okay.
So let's get into tonight's after show for Monday Night Raw. We kick it off with the Wyatt family coming down to the ring, and Bray basically addresses Roman Reigns. What do you think of this segment, though?
The segment as a whole just sort of evolved on itself and kind of opened up. It started with Bray Wyatt saying, "Oh, I tried to warn you, Roman Reigns." Roman Reigns hears this, comes down, is like, "Let's just fight, dude. Let's just fight, bro. Come on." And then Bray's like, "Yeah, all right, let's just fight." And then they fight for a bit, and then obviously the numbers game gets the better of them. Ambrose out, then Orton out, but then ultimately the size of the Wyatts really lends that they don't get hurt, really. Like, they sort of back away at the end there, but Braun Strowman is so damn big and so damn strong, he didn't leave his feet once.
They looked really tough at Night of Champions, too.
Yeah, I agree. I wish that was done a little bit different.
Okay, how so?
I think Jericho looked weak.
Were you happy?
Strong.
I know we're not supposed to talk too much about Night of Champions, but were you happy with Jericho being the third mystery partner?
No, not really.
It does make sense for a storyline since Bray and Jericho did go at it a while back, but did I pop for it? I don't know.
I mean, it was like, oh, that's who it is. Okay.
It makes sense for sure.
You had an opportunity to elevate somebody. Like, you have Braun Strowman, came up from NXT, skipping television completely, so he was this surprise dark horse. If you brought somebody from NXT television, it would still be a surprise.
I wanted a third Shield member. I wanted the Shield to get back together with a third member.
Like a new third?
Yeah.
Like who? Who could it be?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah. You need somebody tough, you know, like with some serious attitude.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe, I don't know, somebody who rides a motorcycle. Lone wolf kind of guy. But now he's in a wolf pack.
Yeah. I don't want it to be Baron Corbin. I didn't.
No Baron Corbin.
I will say the opening to Monday Night's Raw was a nice change of pace from having either Rollins open it up or Cena open it up or the Authority open it up. It was good to see something different.
You've got to do this more regularly. The regular open gets old really quick, so people will tune out because they know what's coming. That's the problem with a formula and a format, is that people can predict the formula and know what's coming with the format, so they can simply tune out to what they don't want to see. You have to surprise them and make sure that they're watching.
Yeah.
You make every second sort of something that they don't know is going to happen, then people tune in.
What do you think of Reigns challenging Bray to a one-on-one and calling him scared because he didn't want to accept it first?
I believe it's good. It's a strong move, because Bray's a pack animal. He surrounds himself with giants. Really, he's not a small man, but compared to the two guys he has beside him...
Everyone is an ant compared to Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
You can't look large next to him.
I mean, I really want to see him and Big Show eventually go at it. We're not there yet. We're not even close, but I think it'll be kind of a passing of the torch for Braun Strowman to really be the next big guy. But that's not now. That's definitely not here.
No. Backstage, Rollins is looking for the Authority, and he stumbles upon Corporate Kane.
So happy, so well rested after breaking his ankle.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, Seth, you didn't get the email? I'm back as the director of operations, and I'm gonna make a match. You're gonna have your rematch tonight against John Cena."
Rollins was hands down panicking at all of this.
Because Kane now has these multiple personalities where he's Corporate Kane that has no idea about Demon Kane. And I love it.
It's very uncomfortable to have somebody who doesn't quite know who they are, or if they're even the same person, because there is a possibility that they're not the same person. There have been two Kanes, there have been two Undertakers, there could be now a third Kane. It is possible, somewhat unlikely, but it is certainly possible.
I think he needed something new for a while. The fans definitely thought that as well, and
the fans they're fickle. I think Kane is one of the most he's great. He's reliable. He knows exactly what he does. He goes out there and he gives 100%. He knows exactly what his role is.
When we originally got Corporate Kane, it was new and it was interesting, but the last couple months before he was injured, or it wasn't working for me.
No, I don't think it was working for almost anybody.
And that's not to say that he wasn't doing a good job. I just think that it was the storyline didn't need him.
And he was inserted so many times. He was overly used. He's just sort of put out there like, well, we got a spot. Who should it be? Put Kane out
Kane
there.
down your throat.
That's how people feel about it. I can't say they're right, but I feel where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a little bit less.
Rollins ends up finding Steph and Triple H backstage, and he addresses them. They don't seem to know about Corporate Kane coming back either, and they just tell Seth to focus on his match tonight against Cena instead of worrying about Kane. They say that they will be taking care of it.
They seem kind of calm. Like, if I were them, I'd be a little upset too. Like, I don't
They
know.
look confused.
I would be a little bit more than confused.
I mean, they're calm because it's their company.
But
they know that they're in charge.
If you're only in charge if you know somebody's coming back to work. If somebody just shows up and starts work and they're there before you and you have no idea, you should feel like you're out of control. This is my company. How can he just come in here and do that? No, this is my company. And they should, I think, feel a little bit more authoritative.
Okay.
They should feel like they should be in control instead of going, I came back to work.
Very true. So let's talk about the first match of the night. I feel like this was so long ago to talk about.
Official match
the
of
first
the night.
official sanctioned match of the night. Stardust and the Ascension versus Neville and the Lucha Dragons.
Oh, no, see, I didn't see that. I watched the Hulu version, which was the 90-minute version.
Oh, okay.
So this got cut.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of cuts in... Should we just skip over it?
No, we shouldn't skip it. I feel bad now because Night of Champions, I didn't watch the pre-show, which I know had...
I mean, it was essentially a rematch from that. Which, great match, but...
Feel bad. I really liked them, and now I've managed to miss them. It seems like they're getting swept under the rug to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, they were on the pre-show for Night of Champions. They got cut from the Hulu version of this week's episode. I don't think they're getting the due that they deserve. I think they're one of the top draws, especially Stardust being that personality that he is. You have to watch him. Now he's getting cut. I don't think it's a good move.
Well, Stardust and the Ascension together... I really like because I feel like it gives the Ascension something to do, and they are taken more seriously in that role than people booing them and hating them.
I think you're right. I mean, it's a pretty not so serious gimmick they're trying to pull. Mm-hmm. I mean, they themselves are pretty over the top.
I still miss the old Ascension.
Well, the Underworld Ascension, the high.
For anyone who watched NXT 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, Victor with the all black eyes.
Yeah.
I do miss those sharp
Not
eyes.
talking, just terrifying.
They were something.
People get mad because we talk about NXT too much. So let's just move on to the next segment. What is up? Ric Flair coming to the ring. He basically makes fun of himself and his love life, but says that the proudest moment of his entire life was not winning anything in WWE, none of his matches. The proudest moment in his life was watching his daughter win the Divas title last night at Night of Champions. Charlotte and the rest of PCB come down to the ring. Charlotte, super emotional. We know that whenever Ric Flair is there, she's gonna cry, and it's adorable. They have a great moment together, and then Charlotte addresses Becky. She says, "You are a rock. You remind me not to be so serious all the time." And then Charlotte addresses Paige and says, "You were the reason why I wanted to do this. You were the first NXT Women's Champion, and you kind of paved the way for all of us." Paige then starts her pipe bomb. She says that it's super patronizing, everything that Charlotte is saying, and she's the one that made it all possible. No one else, none of the other divas. She says there is no revolution, and Charlotte is just a placeholder, that Nikki is going to win back the title, and the revolution will be over. Then says, she goes on her rant, basically every single female on the roster. She starts off with Becky saying that she'll never be Divas champ because she's the least relevant out of everyone.
That stung.
That stung. Lana and Summer are just waiting to climb on top of the next guy.
That's a comment about the writing.
Calls out Natty, that Natty's not even there. Where are you, Natty? And Paige for... I don't know. She just she storms out, and she's back to being.
She calls out the.
She calls out everyone
for how they got where they got and how they got it.
But she's back to being the anti-diva that we saw previously.
And the reason why that particular those set of particular statements are so strong
is because there's some truth to all of them.
Absolutely, she's right, and that's the hard part to take.
It reminded me a lot of what AJ was allowed to do towards the end of her being at WWE and doing those pipe bombs and them having a little bit of truth to them, and the fans just, it's everything that I feel like a lot of people want to say and probably are saying on Twitter because WWE fans are very vocal, but it's, you can't help but be like, oh yeah, she's speaking the truth.
I think she was channeling a lot of the voices that you hear on the internet that are the loudest. Mm-hmm. I think that they're sort of the most extreme, so eventually they need to be channeled through a source so that people can sort of get behind it, because it's a very derisive set of things to say. Either you're for these people or you're against these people, and if you agree with her, then you're against everyone, but if you're for some people, then you can't possibly agree with her, and it creates this division.
She's been on her own before, though. It's crazy because right before Charlotte and Becky came up, we didn't know what she was going to do.
I don't think this is necessarily a heel turn.
I don't either, because it, honestly, like I said, it's very reminiscent of what AJ was doing before. She couldn't find someone to help her out, and then finally she did get people on her side. But I don't know. Do you think that the way that she called them out helps the Divas, or does it set them back a little bit? Because I got a mixed reaction from people on Twitter.
I would rather see women sticking together at this juncture, but at the same time, I see why it's necessary. You need some division overall so that you can create the drama that's necessary. But I didn't see her challenging Charlotte.
Yeah.
She didn't at any point challenge Charlotte. She challenged her validity, but she didn't challenge her championship, because I think she believes in the establishment, that the establishment will rule overall. Like, that Charlotte's, exactly like she said, a placeholder, and that everything will go exactly the way it was. I think she's disheartened. She's right. She was the first one of her kind up on the main roster.
She won the title the night she debuted.
Right, she's held it twice at this point, and I think she's just tired of the idea of the revolution and it not being about her. Mm-hmm. I think she doesn't feel she's getting her due.
As a fan, I know that I want to see Charlotte and Paige feud on the main roster, so I'm happy about this. But it'll be interesting to see if that's actually what happens, or if the Bellas, which came out to the ring next, are intertwined in this and do get the title back.
I wonder myself, although, I mean, you're really setting Charlotte up as this underdog. As good as she is, as established as she is, she's now sort of never getting her cake and eating it too. She's, as a face champion, you never get a moment of happiness.
Yeah.
You are never allowed to be happy, and Charlotte does not seem like she ever really gets that. She got a moment with her dad, who is always honest. Ric Flair is perhaps too honest, and that's part of the reason why you really love him. And he's very, very candid about himself.
Yeah.
And she got that moment, but it's always cut short. Mm-hmm. It's always cut short.
The Bellas come out, and Nikki calls Paige a trashy, classless woman. And then Nikki asks Charlotte if she can handle everything, if she can handle being the Divas champion. Just if she can live up to the reign that Nikki Bella had in almost a year of being the champ.
It's a bit of a reality check. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you've just won your championship, but you're probably gonna have a bad time now.
Now you have a target on your back.
Right. You're never allowed to be happy as champion.
Yeah. I'm just happy that there's finally some sort of solid storyline in the Divas division.
Yeah.
And it's not just going to be 3-on-3-on-3 matches.
It
in
happened,
some sort of different...
It happened exactly like I said it would. As soon as this thing ran its course, because it had to run its course, we're here now. The revolution is here. And we can have our chocolate chip cookie finally. We've been eating that oatmeal, baby. Eating that oatmeal, and now we are on to chocolate chip.
Yeah.
And I think Charlotte is actually the perfect face for this phase of women's wrestling because of her name. I think the fact that she is Ric Flair's daughter adds a certain value to it. I think if you said Ric Flair to almost anybody, wrestling fan or not, they know who Ric Flair is. And if you say Ric Flair's daughter is the women's champion right now, they'd go, well, I think I have to see that.
A lot of people are concerned, like, a lot of people did want Sasha to be the first out of the three of the four horsewomen coming up to hold the title. But I think that Charlotte, even though she has less years under her belt, Sasha, there's no question about it, she will have years in this industry.
Yeah. It's about who has to start. And I think Charlotte Flair is the one to start.
Is that too predictable, though, having Paige being the first NXT champ, and then Charlotte, and then Sasha. That's basically the way that they're going up to the main roster.
There could be an upset
Paige,
in there.
Then Charlotte.
What I feel is like Paige is going to come back around. She's going to apologize to Charlotte.
Oh.
I think she's going to say, you know what, I had a moment of weakness.
I don't think so at all. Paige never apologizes. Are you kidding me?
I think it's Becky. I think Becky is being the most subversive. I think she's just hanging around like, yeah, good for you, and then it'll happen. She'll stab her in the back.
I would say that Charlotte and Paige go at it, and the title goes back and forth a little bit, and then maybe Sasha gets involved.
Maybe. But that's a little too predictable. I want something that I can't see coming, and I think Becky Lynch is the dark horse. She's the least relevant, which would make it the biggest surprise. So to give the largest reaction, you go with the lowest common denominator, which would be
Natty?
Yeah. Well,
I want Natty to have it too.
I heard a rumor she'll be coming back soon.
She did.
She did.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that was cut out of Raw as well.
Yep.
There was a little bit of
that was cut out of
the
Raw.
Hulu version backstage segment.
Son of a bitch.
Well, we'll just talk about what happened on Hulu then.
No,
I apologize to you guys. I know. So we get a match: Brie versus Charlotte. Charlotte wins with the figure 8. Brie taps. What'd you think of it?
It's good. It's always so fast now. Charlotte gets really cut down very quickly. There's very little showing off from Charlotte because I think everybody actually knows her stuff. I mean, granted, she got to do the little kip up after the shoulder block, show what she's capable of doing. But it's just always so fast. And Brie, who has been sort of like the nice Bella up to this point, dirtiest tactics tonight. Dirtiest. Yeah. I mean, working that leg on the ropes, just doing the worst. I don't think she's a better wrestler than her sister, but I still don't think she's of the world-class caliber that's really needed. There was a point in the match where she had this look on her face like she truly had no idea what to do. Just need that focus. You know, that killer instinct in order to be a champion, really be in the running, and not be simply the sister to Nikki Bella.
Well, it's just a matter of if she wants it. And when she came back, or when her and Nikki became on good terms again, she's always been the sidekick. She's never been the one that's leading the pack out of the two.
I'd love to see that whole thing just devolve and have them in like a dog collar match.
Blow up in their face.
I want to see them hate each other. Really, really hate each other. That would feel good. Yeah.
We're already running out of time, which is crazy, but...
It's the women! We just love talking about the women.
I know. Let's talk about Mark Henry versus Sheamus, this match. Sheamus almost cashed in his Money in the Bank at Night of Champions.
He did, almost. If it weren't for Kane, who did the save/kill.
I am very happy for Kane. Thank you, Kane. What did you think of this match, though? It was a quick one.
You know what I liked, though? I liked Mark Henry dominating the ring. Mm-hmm. He was in that ring 100%. He was controlling everything that happened in it and outside of it. And the moment he got a little bit away from Sheamus, bro kick is over.
Bye, Mark Henry.
But it looked good.
No, it did.
That. I like the story. It's the simple stories I like the best.
What do you think that Sheamus needs to get more over?
What you need for him, honestly,
yeah,
you put a 24/7 stipulation with that Money in the Bank case. You make him able to cash in any time, any place. There was at one time a belt called the Hardcore Championship in WWF, which had a 24/7 stipulation on it. You could lose it anywhere at any time, which led to a lot of very funny and entertaining vignettes, and I think that's what you can do with Sheamus.
To me, he's having the same reception as Batista did prior to Guardians of the Galaxy coming out. And WWE, obviously the writers want to promote him because he's going to be in a huge franchise coming up. He's going to be in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But fans, they can't get behind it for whatever reason. And I think that we will once we see his performance, because now, WWE fans are so freaking proud of Batista. But before that, it was Bootista or Bluetista or Sheamus.
It's the writing on the wall.
I'm tired of him.
they simply, the writers go, okay, we'll just do this. And then they let it run and they don't put any thought or actual work into it.
Because
And
they
I
have
don't
to
think that
promote him for a
helps.
year before the movie comes out.
Right.
Do you really have that much content?
You have to make it different. You have to put work into it. That's why I think the 24/7 thing is different, and I think it'll make people want to watch because it'll make them laugh a little bit. You gotta have them laugh, at least at somebody.
Yeah.
You know, so make it Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is a weasel. He's always a weasel. So you can break the fourth and go to a theme park and have a brawl at a theme park. Have some fun with it.
Theme park brawl.
Yes.
Love it.
That's not exactly original either. That Crash Holly. You would have loved Crash. I miss him.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
After the match, Sheamus gets on the mic and talks about how it's only a matter of time before he is the WWE World Heavyweight Champ.
I don't know how true that is. If anybody
I mean, it is a matter of time, but
I don't think so. I think actually he's.
Do you think he's
one of
not
the
gonna
guys
cash
that,
it?
Yeah, or he could cash it and he'd lose.
whoa!
Yeah.
I would actually really like that.
No. I don't know. I think he's one of the few guys that could actually lose it. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Back to the Authority, Steph and Triple H try to track down Kane, and they say they'll all be able to move forward if Kane can give back his mask. And Kane's like, well, what do you mean? Steph, last time I had the mask, I gave it to you, and you put it in the box. I don't know where it is.
They lost
You
the
lost it.
mask. Oh no.
Kane officially has the multiple personalities.
But he showed a shade of the
Like he's
the
gonna
inner
break,
workings.
yeah.
When he had that moment of just getting closer and his voice changed and his eyes got a little steely, and then he was back to normal. Everything's fine. Yay! I'm back at work.
He's like the
So
happiest
weird.
worker in the world, and then
Don't ever trust a man who's that happy at work.
go postal.
Yep.
Seriously. Something wrong. Backstage, Paige is, this is the segment I think you might have missed too.
I did.
Paige is just pacing around, and Natty makes an entrance, and she said she was right about a lot of what she had to say, but not the way that she did it. Natty said that it was very unprofessional, so just sticking to her being the voice of reason in the Divas division. And then Natty says that she has a match tonight against Naomi, which I don't know if you saw that either.
No.
Oh.
Damn it!
Yeah. Paige just blows her off at the end of the segment. But
Really? Mm-hmm. See, that's sort of Natty's role, I think, whether she likes it or not. She's the mother of the Divas division. She's the most established. She's a little bit older.
which is crazy because Tamina's older than her.
That's true.
And both of them obviously have the lineage, but as fans, as viewers, I think that we're all kind of behind Natty because she just seems like the nicest human being on the planet, and she does want to help out, and
she really loves this business.
She's so
been
passionate
around
about
her
it, yeah.
entire life.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Next up, we have New Day and Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler and the Dudleys.
Yep. Another rematch.
What do you think?
Thought it was good. I mean, there's really nothing ever wrong with this. I mean, granted, I don't necessarily like the Rusev and Ziggler thing, but I think Rusev's reaction to it on Twitter sort of puts it over.
He's hilarious on Twitter.
He-
So in character all
He
the time.
knows exactly what he's doing. At all times, he understands exactly what he's doing. I don't think he gets quite the credit that he deserves for being everything that he is, but that's fine. I think in a matter of time, it'll come around and people will go, you know what, this guy is really friggin' smart.
Yeah. Team Rusev ends up winning this match, but I feel like the feud is still going to continue with Rusev and Ziggler, despite you or many WWE
Anybody
fans
else.
wanting to, yeah.
I don't know where it's going to end. That's the thing. Now that Lana's hurt, the whole story changes. So where is it going to end?
But that's something that I don't think that we as fans of a product can complain about, because it is so up and down, and they might have a really great storyline written and then have to change it last minute when they don't necessarily have the time to do it.
Right. I don't know. They should bury this hatchet, because it's only going to make Dolph harder to get behind and sort of waste valuable time.
Yeah.
I mean, great catch by Summer, though. That trombone, she just plucked that thing right out of the air. It was pretty, I think that was the highlight of the match.
Yeah.
In an otherwise solid match.
And throwing her shoe the other night.
That just, I don't know.
You didn't like that?
No.
Oh.
A shoe? That man's a wrestler. I mean, he's a professional wrestler. He got hit with the shoe.
Yeah.
And that was really enough to sort of put him away, so to speak. It was enough as a distraction, but where are we going? Where the heck are we going?
Who was the reporter that threw the shoe at,
I don't remember who the reporter was, but yes, everybody remembers the shoe and our former president's fantastic reflexes.
Yes.
Missed it.
Maybe Rusev would have missed it too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wrestled the match. How tired is he?
Yeah.
Get hit with a stiletto. It would have really made a heck of an impact if it just stuck in his chest. Just right there. Yeah. Pop it out, starts bleeding. That would have been good.
Oh, so this is another thing that you missed. Natalya versus Naomi in a match. Sasha Banks and Tamina are there as well. Natty ended up winning. It was really only like maybe 3 minutes long.
The women got that much time? I'm so happy. I'm surprised.
What? 2 matches?
No, two segments and 2 matches.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of time.
I was gonna say, it wasn't really a long match though.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because they got a backstage, the Flair celebration into the match. That was 2 segments. That's a 4th.
Or sorry, if I said Natty won, Naomi won.
Naomi.
Yeah. Brain fart.
Okay.
But still, it is nice seeing 2 Diva segments, or 4 if you count the backstage
4.
stuff. Yeah.
That's great. I'm very happy for that. Now, how did the match with Naomi and Natalya go?
I mean, there was some good back and forth, and then Naomi did the rear view for the win.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Quick match.
I mean,
it's hard when there are
2 great wrestlers
and
too.
Team Bad was there at ringside, I imagine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Natalya's not picking sides. I think that's just another point that she's level-headed. She's not picking sides in this whole feud with everybody.
I could
She's
see
like,
her.
oh, y'all do whatever you want. I want to be right here.
Honestly, I could see her with Charlotte and Becky
As a new third?
as a support system, being like, you know, Natty addressing Charlotte and saying, you know, I really respect you as a wrestler. We had an amazing match at NXT TakeOver Unstoppable a year ago. And I'm just really proud of what you've accomplished since then. I want to be there to support you, to mentor you. I know that it's really difficult, especially being Divas champion when there are so many other people coming at you for that title. I just want you to know that, like, while I do want to be in that position one day, I also want to, you know, be a support system to you during this time.
But what if she abused that power? What if she became
I would love for Natty to crack too. Like, she's supposed to be, we see her as this person that's, you know, the mother of all of the female wrestlers and the support system. And then she starts just getting like Gollum in the ring when he doesn't have it, like, oh, my pretty. Like
Precious.
she you know, starts getting more and more, like, she just desires that so much, and it kind of like takes over her entire thought process, and she has to become Divas champion. It just consumes her.
See, I don't see it going that way.
Oh.
I see her staying under control the entire time and sort of being the mother to all 3 groups of women. and working them against each other, creating this chaos where it ends in this brawl, and it's all up in the air, and she's just sort of standing there untouched, where she's the true, brilliant creator of all this chaos. She's abusing that power.
Oh.
And we get to see it. We get to see her do that. But none of them know what's going on, so they all sort of tear each other apart, and she just stands there ready to pick up the pieces and create something new.
That could play into the Total Diva storyline, too, because we know that they kind of cross over when they write both. Yeah. So she's a little sneaky on that. She has a lot of stuff from Tyson.
This could play over.
Yeah.
There's possibility. I get really creative when we're drinking.
Back in the authorities' office, Triple H and Steph are talking to each other. Rollins walks in, and again, he's just super concerned about Kane and his match tonight. And Steph and Triple H are like, dude, just focus on your match. Don't worry about Kane. That's our problem. We're handling it.
Do your thing, man. Just go. Go. Get out of here. Go. Yeah, this was somewhat unnecessary. Trying to fill time on a 3-hour show. Just do another. Go talk again. Do the talking thing. You do it so well. Yeah, unnecessary segments.
Yeah. Could have given more time to a match, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know why this was on Hulu.
Big Show versus Cesaro was the next match of the night. Show ends up getting the win with a KO punch. But Cesaro looking really strong with suplexing. Seriously.
Snap suplex into the ring. I mean, he had to go back to that 3 times in order to get it. I think this was a great match simply for the fact that Big Show's working the crowd.
Yeah.
And so did Mark Henry. It seems like the 2 most seniored guys are guys who can get in that ring and really get the crowd hot. They can get the crowd hot. And it's not for moves that they do. It's by simply acknowledging the crowd. Like, that's real wrestling right there. It's an interaction between the audience and the wrestlers themselves. And I think Show made perfect work of Cesaro. Cesaro looked great. Everything he does is so clean, and he's so hot. And against a guy like Big Show, who's sort of this mountain who can't be moved, and Cesaro just keeps chipping away at him, and eventually he gets where he wants to go, but Big Show in one move, pow, can end it all.
Yeah. Big Show is Lesnar's first opponent in the Go to Hell tour, and Big Show says that Lesnar shouldn't underestimate him.
No. My big ass ain't going to Suplex City. Like, that's a real statement.
Do you think that he's going to get suplexed at all by Lesnar?
I think that'll be the story of the match. Lesnar will keep having to try, and I think if Show makes it easy, it'll be a loss, a real loss for a bigger idea. I think Big Show should make it really friggin' hard. But if anybody can kick out from the KO, I think it's Lesnar. I think Show can hit that KO punch, and Lesnar's going to kick out. I really do.
Show hits the KO punch, and Brock just kind of, like, moves a little bit, and he's like...
Yeah. See, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
That's an easy thing to imagine.
After this... In the ring, we see... Oh, first there was like a Wyatt's video. I didn't take any notes on that.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it either. Okay,
no.
Cool.
Oh, wait, yeah. It was Harper. Yeah, Harper and Braun. And yeah, we just did a video.
Addressing Orton. Yeah.
Braun said he skinned a snake and drank his blood. Yeah, I've done some crazy stuff for money. I've done crazy things for money. Whatever. I'm not here to brag.
Yeah.
Friggin' Strowman.
Now
it's got an R in it. That's what throws me. In NXT, he was Strowman.
Was he really?
Well, he was. There was no R. They added an R when he got to the main roster. I don't know
why. Next match we have the U.S. champion, John Cena, versus the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, in a U.S. title match.
Rematch from the previous evening.
Yeah.
Cena, obviously, the winner of Night of Champions. Once again, getting back his U.S. championship.
Tells a good story.
It does, and I think the match itself on Sunday was good, except for maybe one or two things I didn't like.
Okay, like
but,
what?
I don't.
You're always picky on matches.
I'm very picky because I know what I like and I know what I don't like. I thought what happened in this match told a much better story. Especially them going back to their finishers and playing basically gunslinger. Mm-hmm. Whoever hits the finish first wins the match.
Yeah.
So you saw that there was a great moment where they went just AA to pedigree to AA to pedigree to AA, and it just kept going back and forth. And you're going, who's gonna hit it? Who's gonna hit it? Because you know they're just playing gunslinger. That's the real story. That's the real story. And if I see that friggin' superplex to Falcon Arrow again, I'll just not be a happy guy. I hate that move.
Cena ends up winning with the AA and retains, or I guess, keeps it.
Yeah, retains. He wins.
Retains. After the match, Cena kind of sells what's going on, and this is when we see Seth in the ring, just kind of standing there. Don't know what's going to happen to him. Who pops out from underneath the ring? Demon Kane.
Well, Kane was on the Tron. We thought that was live.
I know.
There's two. I'm telling you, there's two. Pulls him under. That was. Oh, see, I thought he was going to get away.
So we had Kane on the Tron, and then
Kane under the ring, coming through the ring. I really thought Rollins was going to get away. I did not think he was going to get pulled under.
I mean, we've seen this before, obviously.
Well,
similar things, but this was definitely...
Usually they get away. Like, 9 out of 10 times they escape, and it's not how Raw ends.
No, it's a good cliffhanger.
It is a great cliffhanger.
Want to know what happens. What do we think this means?
I'd say that Kane is now going to be challenging for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
It's the only thing I can possibly make from this.
Can he do that as the director of operations, or is this something that the authority is going to step in and...
I think that'll be the story. I think the story is going to be if these two people are in the same place at the same time, the authority can sort of wash their hands of it and say, this is not the same man, but as director of operations, he can't get involved. So I think you can do a lot storyline-wise, and a lot really creating intrigue of, is this the same Kane? I think there's a lot of story we can develop there.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely an interesting way to end Raw, but overall a good...
I think it was the best thing I liked about Raw.
Really?
I mean, just for that ending, like, that's...
I mean, I like the pipe bomb, but...
Yeah, but again, the pipe bomb, it was...
And seeing Natty back.
Sort of happened. It had to happen. There has to be somebody to challenge. There has to be somebody to reign on the parade. It's just a matter of who. Mm-hmm. And for it to happen from the inside is, I mean, I guess, a story as old as time and friendship.
I mean, I think it's good. That's how her character developed at NXT, where she was the anti-diva. She wanted to make a name for herself and prove that she was everything that the Divas division wasn't. She was, strong. She was smart. She did all of these things that kind of went against what WWE has built as their divas currently.
I agree. I had a small hope for that segment. The Flair celebration segment, that they'd bring back the women's belt. Just this little sliver of hope.
Someone tweeted me, I forget who it was, but someone tweeted me that there was a poll, and they asked on WWE.com which belt of years past would you want to bring back, and I think the women's belt was second in the polls, or maybe first.
In my mind, it's first. That is the belt that has to come back before we can have any sort of cruiserweight belt or anything like that. You bring back that friggin' women's belt.
I mean, right now they have so many incredibly talented women on the main roster. It would be unfortunate not to continue having, 2 matches every single time and developing a secondary storyline.
Yeah.
They need to.
They definitely need to.
And not one that involves boyfriends and girlfriends getting mad at each other.
Right. Jealousy, I don't think, Sexual jealousy does not work anymore.
No.
It just doesn't. It's a cheap parlor trick. I think you can build it around athleticism and a real desire for a championship. Because that's what everybody really wants ultimately in this business. They want the frickin' gold. So, give it to them. Give them gold.
I've said this before on the show, but I really want to see a female have a manager.
A female with a female manager?
It doesn't matter if it's a female manager or a male manager. I just think that could really, it shows that the women are on the same level as the men.
But not even men really have managers. There's one manager. There's one. And it's because
right now,
he's
which is
Paul
weird.
Heyman.
We used to have a bunch.
Not really.
Lana was a manager.
Technically, yeah. Now she's transitioning.
Zeb Coulter's not around anymore.
Yeah. I think managers are an absolutely necessary part of this business, but WWE doesn't see an upside to it. It's a money thing.
They can help sell people. A money thing.
But they just want guys to sell themselves. They want the total package. That's why they find guys with a body, speaking ability, who understand things, because they don't want to change it up. They just want one guy. We can get one guy to do this instead of having a manager do it, which is unfortunate. Big managers are an integral part of the business, and they can help. Because usually they're older wrestlers who actually do teach the younger wrestlers how the business works.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that, you're not educating your workforce.
Paul Heyman did say that if he was going to rep a female, he would want to rep Ronda Rousey. She came to WWE.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he would, but
I know. I could totally see that too. Like he's the manager of Lesnar and Ronda.
I'd rather have him rep somebody else. That's just me. Because it's too easy at that point. Oh, he gets Ronda Rousey too.
She can also talk for herself.
Right.
She can cut a promo. If you've seen any clips of her ever, she
knows how to open her mouth
deliver,
and deliver scathing lines. I mean, that's part of how she got to be where she is today.
Yeah. So I just got the note that we have to wrap up, unfortunately. But thank you guys so much for watching the Monday Night Raw after show on Wednesday night.
Wednesday
afternoon. It was a great Raw after pay-per-view.
I thought the pay-per-view itself was pretty good for the most part. And this Raw, I think, is starting to come back and do something. After the previous Raw to this one, which was...
It's only going up.
That was the low point. That was rock bottom. We've hit rock bottom, everybody. It's only up from here.
Going up from here, yeah.
Yeah. So we have something to look forward to, hopefully.
Yes. And we will be back next Monday for another Monday Night Raw after show. Definitely, if you're a fan of NXT or you're not, check out Hobo and I tomorrow on the NXT after show.
We have a guest tomorrow.
We do have a guest tomorrow.
And I could not be more excited. I mean,
find out who it
literally.
is on Thursday.
Yeah.
6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Here at the news studio.
Hobo, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at TrueHobo. Don't buy a shirt at ProWrestlingTees.com/hobo, but do buy a shirt at NXTeam.Spreadshirt.com if you want to learn how to wrestle. Send a text message to 818-381-2563.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley, on Instagram at Cathy Kelley. Find all of us here on Twitter and Instagram at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next week.
Bye-bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.